All right, gonna make a podcast. Finally, been trying to do it for a long time. Welcome back to the channel, by the way. For those of you guys new to the channel, for some reason, we're nervous. It makes sense for Tyler to be nervous. He's not in front of a camera. I've been in front of a camera over 100 hours this year, and I'm still nervous, and I don't know why. I think it's because it's a different form of talking. But we've been wanting to do a podcast for a while. It's a very amateur start.
What are you talking about? This looks pretty professional.
This is pretty professional. If you guys can see what I got a gimbal, and I've got a remote that powers it. Check it out. Whoop, whoop. Like it's pretty high tech actually. But no microphones, nothing like that. We're just going to do a podcast as young farmers talking about a whole variety of different topics. Kind of whatever comes to mind. I've used GPT.
I don't know how to use it.
I've used that chat thing on Google, and it's gave me a whole bunch of cool topics that we could talk about. But you guys could send us topics too, whatever we want to talk about. There's a few topics in mind that I've got moving forward. I have gotten one request. A guy in a video the other day, Tyler, wanted us to kind of talk about what we each do on the farm, because I'm in front of the camera all the time, and his exact words were, you guys should talk about like what you guys each individually do and what other people do on the farm as well. So that could be a topic for the future. They might not like our answer because we don't really have set jobs.
No.
It's kind of, we do what needs to be done. But for today, for the first podcast, we're just kind of going to introduce ourselves, give a little background on ourselves, and kind of get used to talking in this format. We're in our break room. We're here at Armson Farms in the break room. So if we get interrupted, just don't mind it. We could cut it, we could pause it, we could do whatever. It is what it is.
We could just include it.
Or we can include it, you know? See what one of the guys wants to say. Maybe Cheryl walks in, who knows? We're just gonna run with it. But, so for starters, we're gonna call this podcast For the Love of Farming. I think it's a pretty sick name.
Pretty good name.
I have Googled it many times. I've looked on Spotify, Apple, whatever, the Apple one there.
This will be mostly educational, by the way.
Yes,
Yeah.
Fully educational. Everything we say is truthful, factual, no sarcasm at all, I promise.
No.
So yeah, For the Love of Farming. Why are we calling it that? One, to my knowledge, the name's not taken. Two, we actually say it a lot, day to day. Like when things are going terribly wrong, and we're like, why do we do this? Why are we doing this to ourselves?
For the love of farming.
For the love of farming. That's the only answer we've got. Like when we're literally on our hands and knees in manure, fixing alley scrapers, and then while you're doing it, a cow runs through the manure and just blasts you. That happened yesterday. It's for the love of farming. And joking aside, that's the only reason we do it. There's literally no reason to do it. It's not the money. It's not all the time off that we get. It's not the great hours. You know, it's just because we love to do it, genuinely. So, for the love of farming. I think it fits. So, most of you guys know me, know my background. I will go over it again. But to start off with, we'll talk with Tyler a little bit. We'll get a little bit of his background. So Tyler, where did things begin?
With farming?
Just
in general.
In life, where did things begin?
In life? Well, life began about 3 miles down the road that way. And have not moved from there. And grown up, didn't grow up as a farmer. Family wasn't a farmer. Just started as a summer job. And
Yeah. So how did that start?
so
I've heard this. I think I've heard the story.
So our boss Todd,
Yep.
one of our bosses, really good friends with his son, who I graduated with high school. And I didn't go to a lot of sporting events, but I went to one basketball game where his mother drove us. And I was 14 or 15. And she asked if I was looking for some summer work. And I said, sure. And I showed up here, had to get rides from family members.
Or ride your dirt bike, right?
Or ride my dirt bike
Ride
to
your
come
dirt
here.
bike a lot.
The bus used to drop me off here. Used to go up and help with calf chores. And just kind of kept progressing from there. Kept coming back summer after summer, weekends during the school year.
So Tyler's one of the rare scenarios where someone who didn't grow up on a farm ends up farming. That is very, very rare.
They tell me I'm special.
It's really hard to explain to people who don't farm why you want to farm. Because from the outside, like I said, it is a lot of hours. It's not a lot of time off. We could absolutely go other places and make a lot more money for a lot less hours. But it's just, we enjoy it. Clearly you enjoyed it.
Yep.
But yeah, so how old are you for this?
I'm 23 now.
So he's 23, I'm 31. Whew. Yeah, I know. I'm now like that kind of in-between generation. Like what would I be considered? I'm a 94 model.
No spring chicken.
No, kind of in that back starting to hurt young kids era age bracket. Am I a millennial?
I think technically, yeah.
I think technically I'm a millennial. I don't know if that's a good term, topic, whatever, title. That's the word I was looking for. I don't know if that's a good title or not, but technically I am a millennial. You would be Gen something?
Z.
Gen Z. So, all right, so you worked here from 14, you're 23, so you've been here almost 10 years. I moved to Western New York in 2016. So you and I must have came to the farm at a very similar time, the first time around. I remember you like a couple times back then, but I don't.
Started working here a couple months after
I left?
After you left.
The first time?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's right after we had a mechanic here named Tyler who left.
Yes.
It was months after that.
Yes. So I worked here with the mechanic named Tyler and another guy named Matt. So my background, my father farmed my whole life. I've been kind of immersed in dairy. I guess when I was born, my dad might have worked on a chicken farm. I know the name. I know the place. I can't remember if they have cows or not. I know they had a white 2105 tractor, which is legendary. They had a bunch of whites. Then he went to work at Dale Van Erden's, and he worked at Sunnyside Farms. Then he went home. We moved when I was in first grade, so which would be 2001. Moved back to Unadilla and worked on my grandparents' farm for I think a year, give or take, and right around that. That was kind of my first memories of like I had chores to do. Like I remember I put sawdust down on the barn floor, scraped the floor. Like that was kind of my job. 2002, my dad went out on his own. We started milking cows in Wells Bridge, New York, which I think is technically Otsego County. We were just on the other side of the Susquehanna River from Delaware County. Milked 50 to 60 cows. Again, it was September 11th, 2002 was the first day we started milking cows. And it's funny, I was, again, in 2002, I'd have been in second grade, but I can still remember like half of the cows that we had and exactly where they were in the barn. It's weird, like, but that was my first, like, okay, I, was a part of it. When he bought cows, we kind of went around to a lot of the local farms. Those of you guys who don't know Delaware County, New York, it is a lot of smaller farms, a lot of 50, 60 cow dairies with just a few big ones sprinkled in. But we kind of went around. It's a real tight-knit community down there. And we'd go around and we bought a few from this farm and a few from this farm. Every farm had a few that they were willing to part with. And that's what they bought. My first cow was a Leduc daughter, Hosking Leduc Rowley. We named her Rowley. That's my mother's maiden name. And she was in the hutches that first fall we milked cows. That's kind of what I remember. So from there, when I was in sixth grade, so I guess that's 06, if my math is correct, we moved to Guilford, New York, which is Shenango County, and we milked cows there. Went to college at SUNY Cobleskill. You went to college for
ag business.
ag business
Alfred State.
at Alfred State, so that's kind of an hour south of us, right?
Yeah, give or take.
And Cobleskill is about 5 hours east of us right now. But when I was at home, it was an hour ride down I-88, straight shot, easy to get to. Could still get home. In fact, my buddies and I quite often would get bored. Okay, I shouldn't say quite often. There were a handful of times we got bored and just hopped in the car and went and helped my dad do chores. And he'd usually buy us pizza and Pepsis to drink. Pepsis. So from there, in case you guys haven't noticed, I've bounced around a lot.
I have not.
Tyler hasn't left the 3 mile radius.
I did work at General Motors for 1 month actually, up in Rochester.
And he realized General Motors GM products suck.
It was during COVID. They manufactured their own masks for their own employees so they could get back to it.
And you're like,
And I did that for 4 weeks to the dot. And yeah, it was interesting. Learned some stuff, but not for me.
not for you.
You'd go in the dark, you'd leave in the dark.
Yeah.
And I like seeing the sunshine.
Yeah, that doesn't sound awesome.
No.
So after college, I went home for about a year. When I was at college, I met my now wife, Hannah. So when I went to Cobleskill for dairy production management. I'll be honest, I was maybe not as focused as I should have been. I did not learn a lot about farming. So the way it was set up there is the first 2 years, they told me this often, the first 2 years were basically formed around someone who has no knowledge of farming. Not someone who grew up on a farm. What I wanted to learn, like the AI program, the advanced nutrition, the advanced stuff, I didn't look at it as advanced because I had grown up around that stuff already, so I kind of knew. So I quickly lost focus. But what I did do is I made a lot of relationships that I still have to this day, including my wife. So college was not a loss. I've told you that a lot. Like, we don't always use what we learned at college at school. In fact, by always, I mean, we don't use that a whole lot. But I met my wife there. You met your girlfriend there.
Yep.
So it's money well spent.
Worth it.
Worth it. After college, like I said, I moved. I don't know if I said it or not. I said, like I said, I don't know if I said it or not. I moved back home, worked with Dad for about a year. My wife was at Cornell at the time, so she transferred from Cobleskill to Cornell. It was about an hour and a half ride to see her. I started off going to see her about twice a week. I'd get done night chores, 6:30, 7 at night. Drive to see her. I'd be there about 8:30. I'd have supper. She'd usually go out to parties. I would go to sleep. But then I would have to wake up at like 3:30, 4 in the morning to be home in time for morning milking. So when I woke up to go back to work, she was usually getting home from parties with her friends. And we'd say goodbye. She'd go to bed. I'd go back to work and had an hour and a half ride back. So that was like twice a week, turned into 3 times a week, turned into 4 times a week. And it kind of quickly in my brain mapped out she was where I wanted to be. Wherever she was is where I wanted to be. So I went to work for Sunnyside Farms, the Raymond family down in Cayuga County. I don't know the technical town. It's like not far from Moravia, not time far from Genoa. Doesn't really
It's on
matter.
the tip of my tongue.
It's right down there. Poplar Ridge Road. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I worked there for a year, and I lived with her in Ithaca, so about a half-hour ride to and from work. When she was done with school, we moved out here. I started working at the farm. This is her family farm, by the way, in case you guys didn't know. One of the owners, Jack, is my father-in-law. So I worked here for a year or two. Had another option with IBA Dairy Supplies. I was a distributor for them for about 10 months. And similar to his GM experience, it was a terrible experience for me. Absolutely terrible. if you like farming and farming's where you want to be, don't leave farming because you'll do a bad job at it. And you'll want to be farming instead of doing what you're doing. And I was trying to convince myself that I'm like, hey, I'll still be on farms every day, so I'll still be around the industry. But in reality, when I was at a farm, I wanted to be doing what they were doing, not what I was doing.
Yeah, you couldn't even crawl around in the manure.
Yeah, I couldn't
stuff.
even.
I mean,
I couldn't even get kicked by a cow.
you're gonna miss that.
Yeah. So after that, I went to work for the Osborne brothers. I was technically working for Nate, where I managed their crops for 4.5 years. It might have been 5 years, 4.5, probably 4.5 years. And then I don't really know. Well, one, that was crazy hours. That was thousands and thousands and thousands of acres, a lot of employees, a lot of time commitment. Once my daughter was born, my priority was I need to do what I need to do to be available for my kids, basically. And a lot of jobs aren't flexible for that, especially in the position that I was in there. So coming home to the farm with family, it kind of works out because now my family is their family. And honestly, we're all kind of like, you're somehow related.
Yeah.
Distantly. But if you need time off,
Yeah.
it's never really, it's a little more relaxed here.
Yeah. I mean, you could trace it back for like 200 years. We haven't left about a 5 mile square, so
Yeah.
probably stick with that idea.
One thing I quickly learned when I moved out here is everybody's related somehow. And I often tell my wife that's probably why she married me. New blood in the area.
Yeah, I had to go pretty far out of town to just to make sure.
Yeah, you went half hour, 45 minutes east, right?
South, yeah,
South, east, whatever.
somewhere down there.
Give me a second. Wet my whistle. That's good. So yeah, I came back here. This is my 5th year back now. So that's kind of my background, which sounded like a lot. It's much simpler in my head, but it sounded like a lot. So if you got questions, leave that in the comment about that. Is there anything else about your background? Your dad works at GM.
Yep.
Where did your grandpa work?
My grandpa Weaver,
Yes.
he's worked a lot of places. He's actually originally from Shenandoah County.
Yes. So
Yeah.
he grew up in Oxford,
Yes.
which is about 15 minutes from where I lived, which was a small world, kind of
Yeah.
funny. But now his grandpa, when we're chopping, runs silage truck for us, which is awesome. He's part of the A team.
Oh yeah.
Talking like this for this long period of time
Yeah.
does kind of dry your throat out.
That's why I've been staying quiet over here. Nothing to do with the nerves. But no, he's a police officer in Shenandoah County for I'm not sure how many years. I wasn't around, obviously.
I didn't know that.
Yep. And then
Legend.
he worked at Kodak for quite a few years, ended up retiring from there, and then decided to become a sheriff deputy in Wyoming County for another 10 or so years. Then he went part-time, and then he finally retired again.
So you really have no farming in your background.
He did have a small farm over on Roanoke Road,
Okay.
where he'd raise a couple beefers, do a little bit of crop work, mostly just to feed the animals. As far as I know, I could be completely wrong here.
Gotcha.
But, and then he decided to come out of retirement again and drive a silage truck for us.
Which is every guy's dream, right?
And
When you
also,
retire, come run silage truck farms and farms.
yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the goal here.
Yeah.
And also, big part of the fire department now, and spends a lot of time
At Armson Farms.
doing that. Yeah, he spends a lot of time at Armson Farm, both working here and also doing fire department stuff, because sometimes, a lot of the time,
We
start stuff on
have
fire.
issues, fires or electrical,
Yeah.
power line situations.
Yeah.
it happens.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. So
Yeah.
So that's kind of our background. It's been 20 minutes. I don't know how long our normal scheduled podcasts are going to be. There might be ones that are going to be 2 hours long. There might be ones that are going to be half hour long. Eventually, I hope we can get it set up so we can have people call in. We can have guests, maybe via Zoom or something like that, or in person. Because there's a lot of really interesting people that I think you guys would really like to hear about. I'm not going to give any spoilers out on that, but a lot of older people who, again, started farming back in the 60s, 70s. So they've kind of lived through the whole spectrum of farming. I did an interview with my grandfather last winter. I might do another one with him because that was just like an introduction. I think it would be fun. I like hearing from that generation because they've got so many stories and they farmed so much differently than we do today. So I do want to interview a lot of those kind of guys, but I also want to interview younger farmers like ourselves because I see a lot on social media and stuff like that. There's the older generation kind of wondering why farms are getting bigger, wondering why younger generations might not want to milk their cows, why they want to just do certain things. And there's a lot of, we can get into it right now if you want.
Yeah, I'm down. I got time.
Let's just get into it a little bit.
Yeah.
So, because when I see things on social media, let me tell you a little story. When I see things on social media, I rarely agree. That's one thing about farming. There's so many different opinions, and every single farm farms differently. No two do it the same, which means every farm disagrees with something that you're doing. A lot of you guys like to voice that on here on YouTube. You guys comment, you're so stupid. I am so stupid. Sometimes it happens.
I've got a lot of accounts to go on and post those, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, is that fun?
There's just one guy who, again, he's from Wisconsin. I've been seeing him a lot on Facebook. He makes videos. He milks 50 cows. And I agree with most of what he's saying. So he has no employees. He also has no family. Great guy, cares for his animals. But I'm not going to say it's a fantasy, the way he views farming.
I think I know the page you're talking about.
Probably. He's got all different breeds.
Yeah.
And it is a great thought. The way he farms in the perfect world.
Yeah.
I think we would all want to farm like that. And his argument always is it's the big farms that don't allow for that to happen everywhere. And I'm going to go ahead and disagree with that. In reality, speaking for myself, you pitch in if you think I'm wrong. I don't want to milk cows.
I just milk cows this week. I don't really want to milk cows either.
It's fun for
Isn't it funny?
It's fun for a little bit.
Love dairy farming. Don't like milking cows.
And that's okay. I think it's okay to not like milking cows. So you have to have an employee to milk cows who likes milking cows. So that way you can do other things. But to do that, you have to milk more cows to justify having employees. And then you milk more cows and you need more employees and you need more land, and it's kind of a vicious cycle. So there is eventually a line where but it's different for every farm too. So I know farms that are milking 5,000 cows that are family driven. They prioritize their employees. They're always trying to do better. But again, from my perspective, the reason I think, so at this farm, we're currently milking 940 cows, which to some people is very big. In our area, it's not.
No.
We're probably in the bottom quarter size-wise.
This county, yeah, for sure.
For sure. But we're just big enough where we're able to do things like have a Sunday rotation and take 1 day a week off. Milking 50 cows with no employees, you're there by yourself. You're the guy. And that's great. If that's what you want to do, that is absolutely great. I fully support that. But I think the reason that dairy farming has lost so many farmers is because kids our age, they don't want to do that. They don't want to be stuck to the farm 7 days a week.
No.
They don't want to be by themselves, frankly. There's a camaraderie that we have. It's not always a positive camaraderie, but there is a camaraderie. There is like,
that wrench was thrown with love.
yes, the wrench was thrown with love. Like, it's one of them things, like, I'm a social person. I like working with other people. I think I would get lonely milking 50 cows by myself. That's just me. This particular account on Facebook, which again, I'm going to really try down the road to get this guy on because I'd love to have a very good back and forth conversation with him. And I think he would be open to listening to it.
I think he would be too.
Like he doesn't have hobbies. He doesn't take vacations. His hobbies are the farm. And I hear this a lot. Like I have friends that I grew up with who are still milking 50 cows and they say the exact same thing. And I say, to each their own. I say that there is absolutely room for the 50 cow dairy. There's absolutely room for the 5,000 cow dairy. Do I think you need to milk 10,000 cows? Probably not. But I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for doing that. I think one of the biggest problems in the dairy industry right now is dairy farmers attacking each other. I don't like organic farming. We don't need to go down this avenue today.
We don't have time for that.
We don't have time for that. See, we got a real tight schedule. We don't have time today.
Got supper to eat.
I'm a growing boy. I need to eat. So I don't exactly agree with organic farming. I'm not going to poo-poo it. Like, I'm not going to say they're farming wrong. Do I think it's wrong for people to pay more money for organic because they've been tricked into thinking that it's a better product via marketing? Yeah, but I'm not gonna publicly shame organic farming, even though I kind of just did. I'm not going to, because whether I like it or not, they found a market that works for them and a way of life that works for them and a way of farming that works for them that they enjoy and they believe in. So I say power to them. And again, if you want to milk 50 cows and you don't want to take vacations and you don't want to do certain things, then I think that that's okay too. Like, I just think that the attacking big farms, attacking small farms, because like it or not, I don't know many farms that aren't family owned. Like, I can't name any.
You gotta imagine it's a pretty large percentage that's a family operation.
And like, you'll hear,
Non-family employees, but
one of the things I hear all the time is like these big corporate owned farms.
you always see them. Even the
I
big,
don't know of it.
even the big 7,000 to 10,000 cow dairies in the state, it's still owned by a family.
Yeah, like around here, I don't know any. Now, I can't speak for the Midwest, like
Well, out there is a little different.
the Texases, the Californias, but I mean, I don't know, so I'm not speaking for them. But I just think that from our perspective, if you want to get more kids involved in farming, you have to make it appealing. You have to make it a way of life where you can still take a day off.
Well, you need it.
You need it. You need it for your sanity. You need it for your family. So that's another thing. I think so many kids in my generation and probably your generation grew up with fathers who worked themselves to the bone and never made sporting events and were kind of grumpy and more or less pushed our generation out. And if our generation wanted to be a part of it, it was like, well, this is how you're going to do it. And it's going to be 7 days a week and it's going to be 100+ hours a week. And people are like, I don't want that. So many people resented their fathers or had bad relationships with their parents about it. and just went a different route. I think the amount of people our age that left farming because of that is way bigger than people realize. So I think if you want to get more people involved in farming, more Tylers of the world, you have to make it appealing. You have to make it fun. You have to make it enjoyable. And it might not always be fun and enjoyable. But remember, there's no job in the world that's always fun and enjoyable.
No, that's why they pay you.
Right. I mean, like, Playboy Mansion might be.
Yeah, I don't know.
That might. I don't know what the drama is up in there.
Yeah, I bet you that's a mess.
But what I'm saying
Don't go
is,
that one.
yeah, I don't know why I chose to go down that road right
There's a
there.
lot of other jobs.
There's a lot of other jobs. But what I'm saying is, I respect all farmers, no matter what the size, except for people who milk Guernseys. I don't respect. I'm sorry, I don't understand the Guernsey thing. I apologize to the couple Guernsey farmers that watch me. I don't understand milking Guernseys. But we could touch more on this, guys. Like, feel free to leave in the comments opinions and questions, and we can just talk about that next time. But, like, am I wrong, Tyler? Like, I feel like
If you grew up and your father farmed and worked 6-7 days a week, wasn't home a ton, didn't make it to events, you probably wouldn't look at that as what you want to do for your life.
right.
And if you see it as an example of you have time to actually live your life outside of work, it actually looks pretty appealing.
Right. Because we're filming on my phone. Buddy Quaid's calling. If you watch this, Quaid, don't call during the podcast.
Interrupting.
A-hole.
It's pretty serious business here.
Yeah. Now I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
Basically,
Train's coming off the rails here.
yeah, we're going off the rails. But what I'm saying is, I was fortunate. So I talked about all the different farms, like how we kind of bounced around as a family. But my father always made farming fun. That's what got me hooked. I love cows. I said I don't love milking cows, but I do love cows. And I love that with farming, every day is different and every season is different. And at home, we got excited.
That's a great point.
Like,
Of what makes this job fun is you're not doing the same thing every day.
No.
I've never done the same thing 2 days in a row.
right. And like,
Maybe drive a truck in the fall when we're chopping corn. That's about it.
right. And you get excited for like,
Oh, yeah.
like right now it's wintertime and we're excited to slow down.
Yeah.
We're excited
Really
to go
excited.
snowmobiling. We're excited to do some shop work, hopefully.
Tomorrow's opening day.
Tomorrow's opening
So-
day and
Pretty pumped about
we're
that.
jacked up about that. The first day, like there's a few days of the year that get me jacked up every single year.
Yeah.
And the first day of plowing, even though we don't run the plow,
Yeah. Somebody gets to run though. You get to see it go by.
you get to see it, you get to
exciting.
smell it, you get to hear it, and it's like, or there goes the neighbor.
Get to work on it.
You get to work on it, you get to fix
That's
it.
true.
Probably get to wash it,
That's also true.
get to grease it.
Oh, I'm pretty good at greasing that thing.
But, you know, you get excited for that. The first time the mowers go out and you smell the hay and you see the lines, you get excited about that. My dad taught me that part of farming, and that's what gets you hooked. That's the stuff, like I said, when I was working for IBA, I would be out and I would be seeing someone mowing hay, and I'd be like, I want to be mowing hay. Like, I'm mad that I'm not mowing hay right now. Even though I could see it, I'm like, what, that's what I want to be doing. And that's why I feel like including your kids in the farm, but not just like, here's your jobs, go get it done. Making them like a part of the activities, showing them that love. Again, no matter what size farm you are, that's how you get the next generation involved. That's how I got involved. That's how you got involved, even though that's not how, you don't know that's how you got involved, but you got excited about those things.
Yeah, you get excited about doing
And
something.
then you got excited when it's like, oh, hey, I'm going to get to run a 10-wheeler for the first time, or I'm going to get to run the tractor for the first time, or like, it's exciting.
I mean, I've got a funny story about learning how to drive a 10-wheeler.
Fire away. Let's hear it.
So, when I did go to General Motors, when I left here, I was not driving equipment, wasn't running trucks, wasn't doing any of that really, maybe the skid steers. And when I called Jack, your father-in-law, and said, hey, I'd like to come back. And I said, but I'm
So
going
we
to learn
said
how to
but.
drive truck. And you're going to teach me, I'm going to go run truck. And it's kind of a back and forth, but ultimately, obviously, I won.
Yeah.
I ground gears like you would not believe. I cannot believe that transmission's still in that poor old 79. But yeah, and then you just kind of get excited to do stuff like that. And
Right. And
all
it's
the
so
enjoyable days here.
Also, like, even when you've been doing the same job year after year, it's like there's a new way to do it.
Yeah.
You go to some meeting or you see some stupid YouTuber who shows off how not to do it, but then you think that's how you should do it. Maybe you could change the way you do things. That's another thing. That's another rabbit hole we could go down as far as like the older generation getting the next generation involved. Allowing the next generation to make changes, even if they're little tiny changes, makes them feel involved and makes them feel like a part of the team, and then that gets them excited, and it's just a whole thing. So yeah, there's a lot more we could talk about on this, and we will talk more about this. We kind of all started talking about the guy we seen on Facebook talking about how he doesn't understand why farms need to milk more than 50 cows, and that I think is why. Because that's the number one reason for growth, in my opinion, is way of life, and that's what's going to keep farming going. Because if you think that every farm's going to stay 50 cows, and this is where it's too late. We all know that, and it's upsetting because there are a lot of people who would love to make a really good living milking 50 cows on their own. Like I said in the beginning, I feel like if that was a thing, there would be a lot of people interested in that. But as far like I said, making events, time off, even just simple like taking the wife out on a date. Like if you're by yourself, you got to find a guy to milk your cows that night. That's not always easy to do. Like those guys don't exist anymore who could just come over and milk your cows for you. So we could talk about this all day. I just think growth is necessary in certain circumstances. But I think everyone should have the right to milk as many cows as they want. And I wish that there was a way that it could stay a viable option for someone. One, to have a market. Like if Tyler graduated from Alfred and wanted to go milk 50 cows on his own, it would be near impossible.
It'd be pretty close to impossible.
Could you find a way?
If you found a way to do it, you'd probably still be strapped with that just to even get
Yes,
started.
because like I know there are people who have done it in the past year or two, but mother-in-law just walked in, she waved. So there are people who have done it in the last year or two that I know, but now cattle prices have skyrocketed. You're looking at $3,500 to $4,000 a head. So for 50 cows,
Yeah.
just say 3,000 a head for easy numbers. It's $150,000 just for the cows. That's no facilities. That's no land. That's no equipment. That's no feed to start off with. That's none of that. It would be very, very, very difficult. So what I'm saying is I wish that there was a way for that to be possible and for big farms to exist. That's fair.
That's fair.
Also, I wish government would stay out of all farming.
Boy, you're probably getting some comments about that.
Topic for another day.
Ooh, that's going to be a hot topic.
Leave it in the comments. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up.
Leave it right in the comments for you.
Leave it in the comments, guys. Light this video up with comments. Like, lay it on me. Seriously. I mean that. Lay it on me because we need topics and we need talking points. Maybe we'll go live one day.
Yeah, that'd be
entertaining.
That'd be something.
That'd be really something. Have I ever told you what something is?
Hey, you told me what something is.
I'll tell you guys what something is in another video.
I don't know
Not
if you
today.
can put that on YouTube.
I could put that in YouTube. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up because it is supper time. We're going to get the heck out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed this.
I'll just talk for 40 minutes.
We talked for 40 minutes, and I feel like the longer we went, I kind of got rambling a little bit. which is definitely going to happen.
Podcast.
It's a podcast. I mean, we're talking.
They basically give this equipment away. So
Yeah. Whatever, guy. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed the first For the Love of Farming podcast. We'll see you guys in the next one.
peace out.
Rock on. No, peace out.
Peace
It's
out.
rock on.
Peace out. Rock on.
Rock on, guys. We'll see you guys in the next one. I think there's a way to.
Looks like the red button.
Yeah, but if I push the red button and it deletes it for some reason, I'd be
Oh
really-
yeah, don't do that. I'll be pissed.